Advocacy Platform Coordinator. So since the writing of my report, I have been working on the evaluation forms for the advocacy action groups. I have finalized and sent out the minutes for the APR meetings, and I presented the first attendees meeting together with Kati, Elisa, and Teja during the 63rd EPSA General Assembly.
Thank you, Jorn. Now I open the floor for discussion. First, we have PMPSD.
Jason, I personally want to congratulate you on your work and your report. You've been doing amazing, you can feel passion. I was actually wondering.
Wait a second, please, for everyone that might hold it like this. Otherwise, not here, it's here. Thank you.
Jason, can you please speak Netherlands? I first want to congratulate you on your work and your report. You've been doing amazing and you can feel the passion. But I was all wondering, since this is a new position, how did you experience the workload?
You're an Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you for the question, Jason. And since this has been a new position, this mandate we've been working on structuring and shaping the position, and we've come up with projects and activities to incorporate in the portfolio of my position. In general, I would say that there is room for more activities and projects in the portfolio. Because the workload can be managed.
Then we have Vasile.
Andrei, first from Romania. Congratulations, Jorn, on your work and on your report. I'd like to ask you, since the last interaction on the Advocacy Platform Action WhatsApp group was in February, how do you plan to keep the group engaged in the future?
Jorn?
You're an Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you for the question, Andrei, and for your kind words about my report. You're very much right. The Advocacy Platform WhatsApp group is something that we should use more often, especially since it provides an accessible way to share projects and initiatives. I have been trying to post regularly stuff that we've been doing and things that we've been working on. But it slipped my mind quite sometimes, but it is certainly something that should be continued in the future, and also more regularly to get the flow more going of using the groups and also getting more input from other APRs.
Thank you. Next we have Annette.
France. Thank you for your report and congrats for your work. The Advocacy Action Group was a new project this year. What will be your main recommendation to improve it next year?
You're an Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you, Theo, for the question and your words. What I think would be interesting and important for the Advocacy Action Groups is to implement it earlier on in the mandate, have a more clear stream of information, more structure. I'm planning to write guidelines about the AAGs and also to give some more, to present the possible participants with some more information on what they can expect of the action groups, present them with a timeline, concrete examples of what they will be doing during their work in the action groups. And I think with having this stream of information more consistently and implementing the action groups earlier on in the mandate, a lot of the organizational issues and administrative issues can be overcome, and that would also result, I believe, in maybe even more interest in the action groups, and that would ensure smoother work.
Thank you. Next we have a new point from Spain.
Andrei, Spain. first of all, congratulations on your work. I feel like you and your team established advocacy as one of EPSA's biggest working field. And on the other hand, you mentioned in your report that you suggest that, or that you wish that it would be better structured. Can you elaborate it, or what didn't work as you wished? Thank you.
Jorn, Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you, André, for the question. I was just wondering, what part did you mean that would be better structured? Were you talking about the Advocacy Platform in general, or the action groups, or something else?
So we will not lose time. I will take. Have you found it?
No, go on. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we will not lose time. We will move to the next point, which will have Afro.
Elena, from Austria, thank you for your work. We would like to know that the APR meetings should be announced more in advance, because some of them had really tight, like a day before, and that's like uncomfortable. Thank you.
Jorn?
Jorn, Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you for the question. I fully agree. It ensures more engagement of the APRs when meetings are timed more in advance. There should be more people present at the meetings, and yeah, I fully agree with your point.
Alright. KMPSB had a point where I think it was dropped. Next we have CPSA Croatia.
Hannah, CPSA Croatia, first of all, thank you so much for all your work. It really, I can say from personal experience, it really helped me get better acquainted with the Advocacy platform. I just wanted to know, in your personal opinion, do you think that more of the LSs, ODs, or students have gotten involved with the work since the newest position has been put in place? And do you think there could be any sort of improvements in contacting students and getting students to work on it from what you've seen throughout your mandate? Thank you.
Jorn?
Jorn, Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you, Anna, for your question and your kind words. I think that since the beginning of this mandate, we have seen a rise in activity and advocacy and people getting engaged. Even with small steps like people engaging in the advocacy action groups, for instance, that are people who probably otherwise would not have been reached for advocacy projects and would not have received this new information. Considering what you said about reaching more students, I believe it's a valuable thing and an interesting thing that was mentioned during the third team meeting by Tiago from ANEC, which was an idea that was come up with, which was to think of a way to provide the APRs with materials for them to present workshops about advocacy through their national associations, and I believe that will make advocacy and, moreover, the accessibility of the information to advocacy more easy. And when the information is coming directly from the National Association, I think more students would also be inclined to join the workshop or project.
Thank you. I would also like to say that those were 2 points raised in one, so please make sure next time that you do. Thank you so much. But next, GPS.
Every CPSM, please. CPSM would like to just congratulate you on your work and for doing your best to engage the APRs more in the advocacy platform, and for all the guidance and help during the advocacy groups. It was a project highly appreciated by the students of our institution. Thank you.
Jorn?
Jorn, Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you so much, Evelyn. It's really kind, and I've enjoyed working with you too very much.
Thank you. Next, I will speak English. This is Madhu.
First, I would like to thank you for your work. And in your report, you mentioned reaching out to APRs more individually to help them get more involved in advocacy. And I was just wondering if you have any specific ideas for that. Jorn?
You're the Advocacy Platform Coordinator. This is an idea that came to rise a while ago, actually while I was having a conversation with the other APR from CPSA a while back. We were discussing interests and things she was passionate about advocacy-wise, and which led to, well, we discussed some things, issues that were particularly playing in Croatia, and I can't imagine that that topic would not be a problem or an issue in other countries as well. So I think that's an example of how different countries have their own specific issues or issues that they are working on and trying to advocate on more. And I think investigating what are the parts of interest, the passions, the things that have momentum in countries, like countries specifically, and linking them, investigating what these things are, like in a country, and seeing if there are any same common interests among other countries. We can able to link them together and see if we can do some sort of collaboratory project or initiative, and that would strengthen the advocacy part and project when you're just making a bigger voice and working on something together.
Thank you, Jorn. I have finished. Tasvire, you have an point.
Andrei, Tasvire, Romania. So I would like to ask you, by comparing the engagement of the LSs that are also APRs and the second APR and the overall engagement of the APRs, would you recommend member associations to have a designated APR position in their national board?
Jorn?
You're the Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you, Andrei, for the question. I think that is something that really depends on how a national board and association is structured, because I think for some associations it would be more beneficial to have a designated APR, but when you also have an LS who's already engaged and interested in advocacy, there could be one, there could be two, but I think it's really dependent on the structure of the national board.
Thank you. We have a direct from Carolina.
Carolina, PPSA, we in EPSA cannot.
Oh!
Carolina, PPA. We in EPSA cannot change the structure of the internal organization for you. So it's really to the discretion of the member how they want to do it.
Thank you. Next. Then we have a new point from Abel.
This is Abel, Portugal. This is not really, sorry, first congratulations for your work. This is not really a question, it's more like sorry. So, this is Abel, Portugal. Firstly, I would like to thank you for your work and congratulate you on it. This is not really a question, it's more like a comment. So during the APR meeting, we found that sometimes it was really hard for people to be involved in what EPSA was doing in general, because you were presenting the EPSA updates regarding policy and advocacy, but sometimes it was hard to just get the concept of the subject that you were working on, and maybe it would be beneficial to just actively discuss the subject that EPSA is working on before just discussing the work itself. I don't know if I was clear enough, but yeah, this is the comment that we really wanted to just transmit to you.
What is your resolution from Carolina?
Carolina, PPA, next explanatory meeting will be how to use the microphone.
Thank you. Now Jorn.
You're the Advocacy Platform Coordinator. Thank you, Josue, for your question and your words. I agree with you. I think the APRs give valuable input and also really represent the students from their country and their associations, and having them be involved more in the actual advocacy, I think would also benefit both the students from from the countries as well as EPSA's advocacy as a whole.
Thank you, Jorn. I have concluded the speaking list. I would like to say again your new points. Your previous points, okay, dropped. Are there comments or questions regarding Advocacy Platform Coordinator? If not, then we shall move on to the administrative department. Thank you so much, Jorn. And now I would like to give it a go to Joseph.
As a president, since I'll be addressing the GA as my position, I would like to ask the chair to
So I would like to ask Joseph to come in front and present his updates since submitting their 15th meeting report.
As a president, so since I wrote my reports, I also wrote the report of the investigation of the working statement 11, which is the one on visas. I finalized the GA agenda, I prepared the 15th team. I hosted a meeting with on the statutes changes with the analysis. I also shared the student being present at the meeting. I reviewed the 40 meeting minutes. I started working on handover preparations. I had a meeting with Firata from ISGB, EPSA Alumni, regarding potential internship there. I follow up on the working statement too. I've been in contact with bank and changing of the proxy after Mário's resignation. I've also been in contact in general with the internship providers that we have currently to see the possibility for future collaboration. I had a meeting with French lawyer regarding the framework on giveaways. I sent LSS the questions on EPSA merchandise, and I attended a meeting with AME regarding regulation changes.
I'll open the floor for discussion. First we have Annette.
To Annette France, congratulations for your mandate and your report. In view of this year's mandate, would you recommend using, implement, or investigating another communication tool like Slack or another one?
Joseph?
Joseph, President, I think we discussed this during AC. I was looking into Slack and other communication platforms as a follow-up on the discussion that we had. Unfortunately, although I quite like personally Slack, I don't think it's possible to use it in EPSA during our specificities when people are changing every year, whereas Slack is more focused on, it would work better in like working teams when people don't change as often. But I think that maybe a different person with a different view could come up with different solutions or different platforms that I didn't see when I was doing this investigation.
Thank you. Next we have ZPSA.
Dominika, CZPSA Czech Republic. CZPSA would just like to thank you for everything you've done for EPSA, and you've inspired many people, and overall you've done a great job, and we are proud to have you as our alumnus.
And we have Annette.
François, how do you foresee the handover work with the next team, especially to ensure the continuity of the EPSA strategy?
Joseph? Clarification from Aline.
Section, can you please repeat?
How do you foresee the handover work with the next team, especially to ensure the continuity of the EPSA strategy?
Okay, Joseph?
Joseph, President, thank you for the question. Actually, management of the handover and the structure of the handover was discussed during second live executive meeting. Unfortunately, the minutes haven't been released yet, right? You can read, but in a nutshell, we are trying to structure the handover differently compared to previous years because we've seen that we get a gap in the knowledge transfer, and we need to better address also the latecomers to the team that are not elected during the GA but during the online LS meetings. So we really want to make sure that everyone will be up to speed as quickly as possible, and the team will be going through the handover together so they can also share their experience and support each other.
Thank you. Next we have Alfred.
Andrei, first from Romania. Congratulations, Joseph, on all the work that you have done. You mentioned in your report that the updates on KPIs that in collaboration with Carolina and Andrea, you want to organize 10 activities for the team until the end of the mandate. And this KPI is at 0%. What do you think you can still do to fulfill this KPI?
Joseph?
Yes, President, thank you for the question. I still think we can work on these internal activities for the team, especially during handover. It's important to get together both the new team and the old team and encourage them getting closer together, because if you have good relations with your predecessor, they will probably be helping you or be available to help you even once their mandate will out. So it will be part of the handover, and we really would like to focus on giving these casual interactions between the team members during the upcoming period.
New point from EPSA International.
EPSA in Turkey. You stated that you have been in contact with the IPSF Bureau regarding the investigation of the visa applications. And can you please update us about the investigation of visa applications?
Joseph?
Yes, President. It will be a specific point on the agenda. Tomorrow, if I remember correctly, there will be a point on the intermediate outcomes of the working statement in 11, which is the one. I know it's there and go more into details of this investigation.
Thank you. There are no more points in the speaking list. Does anyone else want to add comments or questions? I see none. So I would like to thank Joseph. And yes, Carolina.
Carolina PA, I would like to pass the chair back to Joseph.
Now I would like to invite Marlene to the front and present her update.
Marlene, Secretary General. Since writing my reports, I have been writing the 30th, 31st, 32nd, and 33rd online executive minutes, took care of guidelines revision, downloaded contents of the Dropbox that was found, together with Joseph Figaro, finished the physical archives, attended various executive meetings, took care of the tribunal registration of the new treasurer, took care of the data privacy registry for all the accounts I have access to, wrote the 4 team meeting minutes and released them, took care of access to the EPSA library, prepared and released the GA package to members and alumni, worked on GA preparations, cleaned up the VP External Relations drive and inbox, revised my handle guidelines and the ones for VPR, helped with the new voting cards, gave input into various executive matters, attended and minuted a meeting with IPSF, gave input on the budget, attended the statutory meeting with LSS, promoted the TOPRA event to LSS, which is Professionals in Regulatory Affairs, read and commented on the Teams reports, worked on the last Adobe Connect points before the subscription runs out, attended the Swiss Biotech Day on behalf of EPSA, attended the Alumni Advisory Board meeting and took outcomes, wrote on the live executive, worked on the live executive meeting minutes, wrote the 22nd, 23rd, and 27th OEM minutes from the mandate 2019-2020, outcomes of the AEB meetings, one in 2019-2020 and one in 2018-2019, uncovered past online LS meeting minutes and emergency executive meetings minutes from the year 2019-2020, shared all mentioned past minutes with the executive and some Alumni Advisory Board members, created the meeting schedule for the 5th team meeting, wrote my rep fund report for the Swiss Biotech Day, helped with the new grant application, attended the 5th team meeting, the ODs and the last meeting, and minuted all of it.
Thank you, Marlene, for the extensive updates. Next, I'll open the floor for discussion. Any comments or questions? First, we have Afo.
Anita of Austria, we want to thank you for your amazing work and your support from the management also. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then we have Annette.
Théo France, and I really wanted to emphasize the importance of the work that you have provided, because you've not only performed perfectly the mission of SecGen this year, but also recovered the delay of the previous year, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you for noticing this. This was basically exactly what I wanted to do at the beginning of the mandate, and it's nice to know that members also noticed. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Joseph?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to thank Marlene for the work that she done, especially writing the minutes from past two mandates with Advocacy. It's quite undertaking, but also her work on the physical archives and her general interest in EPSA history and making sure that this won't be lost.
Thank you so much. I see no more points raised in the room, so I would like to thank Marlene. And then we shall move on to Treasurer Tiago. Please present your updates.
Tiago, Treasurer. So since my last report, I've attended several executive meetings and attended the 15th meeting and also helped with the logistics at the spot. I worked on proposed two different variations for the annual budget. Met with the audit committee to check all financial documents for GA. Worked on the logistics of the GA by picking up several items. Met with the GA very responsible. Was in contact with the hostel and the GA venue. Negotiated new prices regarding expenses for the GA venue and hostel. I've been in contact with Dylan and Patrick, past EPSA treasurers, revised the annual guidelines, and worked on a budget proposal for the EP grant.
Thank you, Tiago. Open the floor for discussion. Abel?
So firstly, I would just like to thank you for your work and to congratulate you for it. You were elected like really reasons, and for what we have the opportunity to perceive, you have been adapted to the position really fast, and we really value that and appreciate that. So congrats from our side. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else that we would like to add? If not, then I would like to thank Tiago. And since Mario is not present today, still I can open the floor for discussion and the member association can comment or send any other questions regarding his activity report. If not, then we shall move on to we will move on to Parliamentary Council, and I will pass the facilitation to Joseph.
Thank you. New point from Gabriel.
Since the time of writing our 50 meeting report, the Parliamentary Council continued to follow EPSA's activity over email and other informal channels, attended and facilitated the 50 meeting and held DOD's meeting. Regarding the GA preparation, the Parliamentary Council finalized the 63rd EPSA GA documents, such as the GA presentation, member motions, and the nomination forms for elections.
Thank you. Before I open the floor for discussion, I'd like to remind you to always use your name and position. And now I open the floor for discussion. Giswag from APA.
Giswag from Portugal. I would also like to congratulate all the C for your work, because you were really approachable during the whole mandate, and that's something that APA really values. and appreciate your efforts. You're always being there for support. Any questions that we have, any doubts that we have, sorry for that, Merlin. We really appreciate and we would like to congratulate you for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other points for the Parliamentary Council? I don't see anything, so we know. Spain.
Victor, Ted, Spain. I have to say thank you to Javier because of his great work.
Louder.
Yeah, here.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank you, Javier, specifically because of his work, because it shows that he has a great talent and he always is there for us. So, thank you.
Thank you. There from Javier.
Thank you. I'm Javier, PC member. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Beth. I'm always there for you and for all the members, of course.
Thank you. I have a point from Adam.
To Alain France, we will not repeat what Abel said. Congratulations for your mandate. Especially thank you, Gabriel, for being an outstanding buddy. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I have new point from Chiesa.
FTP please. And we will not repeat what other officials did said, but thank you, Sylvia, for being an awesome buddy. And thank you, PC, for acting as EPSA's representative in various events as well. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Any other points? Okay, I don't see anything. In that case, we can proceed. And I will pass the facilitation back to DC.
And for the, we move on to the Audit Committee. And here with us we have Ines Nobrega, that I would like to ask to come to the front and present her update.
Ines, Audit Committee, since we wrote our 50 meeting report, we have been busy auditing the financial documents to be approved by this GA. Then we had a meeting with the treasurer to get some clarification and ask for some errors to be corrected. Afterwards, we checked the updated documents and discussed our statements at this GA. Also, we were present at the second neutral bodies meeting, the financial meeting, and the 50 meeting. Finally, we are currently working on updating the Audit Committee guidelines. Handover guidelines, sorry.
Thank you, Ines. I open the floor for discussion. Would someone like to comment or ask any question on the Audit Committee report? I see none. So I would like to thank Ines for presenting her update. And that concludes this session. Joseph.
Mr. President, give me a bit of time to see the agenda and how we can proceed.
Gabriela, can you use your name, please? Oh.
Section. Also, you will soon, because the deadline of the nomination forms is soon, you will soon receive an email if you have a proposer or seconder. Okay. Please answer those emails as soon as possible because we need confirmation before we can upload it, and then we can give you access.
Yes, to add on that, we will be sending the confirmation emails as soon as this GA session is over. It will take us like 10 minutes to send you the emails. So pay attention during lunch or before you start the next GA session, because if you confirm it then after GA today, you can have the nomination forms right away.
Since we have some time left, we would like to proceed to the External Relations Department. And first on the list, we'll have Bianca's activity report. She is not here. She's not here present, but we can still take your questions and your comments on her activity report. So I'll open the floor for discussion. We have KMPSV with the new part.
Just KMPSV Netherlands. Since we had the treasurer and now VVR, I would like to ask why they left the team, because I think it's an important topic to know and discuss.
Joseph?
Yes, at present, their reasons for resignation was in the resignation letter.
Any other comments or questions? Yes, KMPSV?
Just KMPSV Netherlands, I would also like to ask, because in her report she stated that the workload of VPR was quite high. Is there anything we can change, or should we change anything to make it more bearable?
Joseph?
Yes, Mr. President. So once again, the resignation letter is the position of the person that is resigning. It is true that BPR's position is one of the higher workload one within the EPSA team. We will have a working or motion for follow up on the restructure done to evaluate all the changes that have been done to also tackle all of these outstanding issues, and that's it.
Thank you. Any other new points? I see none. Then I guess we can proceed to the next coordinator, which will be Professional Affairs Coordinator, and I will ask Gabriela to come in front and present her updates when submitting the report.
Gabriela, Professional Affairs Coordinator. Since writing the reports, I've been working on finishing the mentoring project with our last tasks for the mentees, which are trainings and chat with mentees. I have also been working on the handover period plan, how we're going to execute it with the new position holder. And I've attended the 15th meeting, and I have shot a video for the European Day, and have sent some pictures and videos for Tasha's public health campaign.
Thank you, Gabriela. I open the floor for discussion. First, we have Estre.
Great, Pastor Romania. Congratulations, Gabriela, on your work this mandate. So you mentioned in your report that one mentor has discontinued the mentoring project on mutual agreement that his and EPSA's views do not align. Could you please elaborate a little bit on that?
Gabriela?
Gabriela, Professional Affairs Coordinator. This situation with the mentor was handled by me and my VP, VP of External Relations, Janka. I had received complaints for his mentees, both of them, and I took the situation. I decided to take a meeting with him to see what was the problem. He was very rude, aggressive, arrogant, and he was cursing in his own language, which Janka understood, I did not. It was a very unpleasant meeting. And we mutually agree that our views on how people should act professionally should be necessary or not aligned. The mentees also complained of this behavior, which is quite inappropriate, and therefore it was mutually both sides decided that this would not continue.
Thank you, Gabriela. Any other new points in the room? I guess not. Oh, Pastor, yes.
Okay, Pastor Romania, I would also like to ask you if the people that did not get selected for the mentoring project have been contacting regarding maybe feedback about their motivation letters and applications or stuff like that.
Gabriela?
Gabriela, Professional Affairs Coordinator. When I sent emails with the outcome of the application, which sometimes unfortunately is a no, which is not my decision, it's the mentor's decision, which mentees they choose. Just for another clarification. Okay, just to clarify how the whole process of choosing selection works, I send the mentees application to the mentors, and mentors, they choose which mentees they want. And unfortunately, when we go a few rounds, some people's application do not get, and then I send the outcome of the results. And in the email which I said, unfortunately, no, I also have written, if you want feedback on your application, on your CV, we can have a meeting. I have had a meeting with people who have asked me what was wrong, or it's not like something is wrong. Unfortunately, we have much more applications than available positions. But I've written and said it in the email if they want feedback. I'm absolutely available and free for conversation, and I have had that with someone.
Thank you. Any other new points? If not, then I will conclude this point and I will thank Gabriela. And next we have Promobility Coordinator report. Now we are connecting online with Ines. Ines, I hope you can hear us. Hello. Then I would like you to please present your updates in submitting your report. And you can go, Ines. We cannot hear you. Say something now? No. Again? We may have found the issue. Try now. Still figuring it out.
Can you hear me now?
The people in the back, could you
Hardly. Hi. Can you hear me now?
It's better. Yeah, it's better. Okay, they can.
Perfect.
All right. Then.
Okay, so hi guys. I hope you can hear me well. I will try to speak loud enough. So since I have present my report, I have been working on the outcomes of my investigation on how to engage and motivate the TWINET coordinators for the meetings and to engage in the channels and online activities related to the TWINET project. I have also sent the outcomes to the team and also this I had a meeting finally with EPSA regarding the interprofessional TWINET and the feedback was really positive. I'm now waiting for the feedback of EPSA and also the feedback of the Federation of the European Federation of Technology Student Associations. And I'm planning and I have scheduled a meeting with ENSA to further discuss the interprofessional TWINET next week again. And I have been liaising with TWINET coordinators about their TWINETs and also answering questions and deliver certificates. And that's all for my part.
Thank you, Ines. I open the floor for discussion. First, we have Aneb.
François, Air France. Considering the lack of involvement from the TWINET coordinators, don't you think it would be appropriate to have one big meeting at the beginning of the year with all the new TWINET coordinators in order to make them understand the interest to get involved?
Ines, could you understand the question? Can you please repeat?
Okay. Considering the lack of involvement from the TWINET coordinators, don't you think it would be appropriate to have one big meeting at the beginning of the year with all the new TWINET coordinators in order to make them understand the interest to get involved?
All right, Ines, go ahead.
Yes, one of the outcomes of the brainstorm and the investigation and what I can conclude is that it's really essential to have the first individual meeting at the beginning. So when any TWINET coordinator is added, there is a possibility to do an individual meeting, but I guess this individual meeting should be, let's say, mandatory, so the mobility coordinator should actively approach the coordinators training, or at least one for all of the country. So, for example, and it was one of the suggestions of the ANEP. So at the beginning, have one meeting with the TWINET responsible person and the 24 TWINET coordinators. But for example, don't have all the local TWINET coordinators have one with the TWINET to have it at the beginning of the mandate, and I think it will help a lot. And maybe to finish this lack of interest and motivation. And I guess one of the main problems is them not understanding or realizing that they need and that they don't recognize the need to be present. So if we explain at the beginning why they need to be present, part of the problem, I guess, will be solved.
Thank you, Ines. Any other new points? No more new points in the room. Then I would like to thank Ines for joining us today. And this concludes the External Relations Department of the GA session. Joseph, with the technical.
Joseph, present. Since we concluded everything that was planned for the both morning sessions, we will proceed to lunch, but it has come. The lunch will start at 12:30, so we will have around 20 minutes of doing whatever. Please don't approach the catering. They need their time to prepare the stuff, so we don't want to be pressuring them. Then we will reconvene in 2 hours. So 3:30? No, wait. Let me do the math. Yes. Okay. So we will reconvene the J at 1:30. I will update the live agenda with the right times, so you can follow it up as well. With that, I'll ask Mário to perform the roll.
Everybody want to confirm? I have APEC Austria, EPSA Belgium, CPSA Croatia, CPSA Czech Republic, SPSA Slovakia delegated to CPSA Czech Republic, Sub Denmark, AMEC France, PPHD Germany, GPSA Greece, Hungary, EPSA Ireland, SFP Lithuania, KPSA the Netherlands, PPSA Poland, APEC Portugal, PASPA Romania, ŽSFD Slovenia, NAPSA Serbia delegated to ŽSFD Slovenia, FEM Spain, ASEP Switzerland, SNAP Sweden delegated to ASEP Switzerland, EPSA International Turkey, and PPSA United Kingdom.